Caitlin Clark just did it again. Her jersey retirement game didn't just pull in big numbers, it shattered records, outshining A'ja Wilson. The hype around Clark is real, and at this point, there's no denying it. She's taken over as the biggest star in women's basketball.
Why would Caitlin Clark not consider A'ja Wilson in her retirement? No. We don't think that it's fair that Caitlin Clark would have her retirement ceremony on the same day as A'ja Wilson's retirement ceremony, even though they both wear the same number 22. Even though Caitlin Clark just graduated college, she has well over many accolades to have her jersey retired, but everyone's lives should revolve around A'ja Wilson, and she should wait. I think all of you need to shut your pie holes. You shut your pie holes right now. Caitlin Clark is the face of the WNBA. No one's world is going to revolve around A'ja Wilson just because she's retiring too.
Now the fun part is, A'ja Wilson, whose jersey retirement was the same day, isn't happy, and it's not hard to see why. Caitlin Clark's jersey retirement game wasn't just a big moment, it was the moment, pulling an insane viewership. Numbers that completely overshadowed anything Wilson has done, instead of celebrating the growth of women's basketball. Wilson seems more focused on her spotlight fading as Clark's influence takes over.
Like this guy, he says, one brought a chip to their program and made it into a powerhouse and top destination for future recruits. The other is Caitlin Clark. But congratulations to the both of them on their historic college careers.
Let's be real, Caitlin Clark is the reason people are tuning in. Her deep threes, record-breaking performances, and ability to captivate audiences have taken the sport to new heights. Meanwhile, Wilson, despite years in the WNBA, hasn't managed to generate anywhere near the same excitement.
It was a sellout crowd, not a shocker. I think it was like at almost 15,000, if not at 15,000 people. And the tickets were pretty expensive.
And that's not just about marketing. Clark's talent speaks for itself. She's electrifying and a must-watch. TV, Wilson, not so much. Now, instead of embracing the moment and recognizing what Clark is doing for the game, Wilson seems bitter. She's voiced her frustration before about the attention Clark receives. But the truth is, Clark earned it. The numbers don't lie. More people care about Caitlin Clark than they ever did about Wilson. And that has to sting.
A'ja Wilson, okay, she would have her jersey retired on February 2nd, okay, be technical, okay, technically speaking. Hers was first announced on February 2nd. And then last April, I believe, of April of last year, 2024, and then it was then announced that Iowa, okay, of the state, the Hawkeyes.
Clark hasn't even stepped into the WNBA yet when she started drawing attention and selling out arena than Wilson. If Wilson really wanted the spotlight, maybe she should have done more to deserve it. The end of the day. Clark is the future. The records, the ratings, and the fans all prove it. Caitlin Clark continues to prove why she's the biggest name in women's basketball, not just with her record-breaking performances, but also with the way she connects with fans. During her emotional jersey retirement speech, she took a moment to thank her supporters, acknowledging how expensive tickets were and how much it meant to her that so many people showed up. That's the kind of genuine appreciation that makes Clark special. She knows she's a massive draw, but she doesn't take it for granted.
I'm pretty overwhelmed right now, but there's just a lot of people to thank. First of all, my teammates, I wouldn't be here without any of you. And a lot of you came back and, you know, you have busy schedules. And I think that just speaks to the culture of this place, you know, so selfless. Like, I know my number's up there, but it wouldn't be if it wasn't for all of you. So to the ones that were my teammates when I was here, I really appreciate you guys and I love you.
Meanwhile, A'ja Wilson, she wishes she had that kind of pull. The harsh truth is, South Carolina had to give away free tickets just to get people to show up for Wilson's ceremony. That's embarrassing to a so-called superstar who supposedly dominates the WNBA, yet they couldn't even sell tickets for her event. It speaks volumes. Wilson loves to act like she's the face of the league, but the reality is that she doesn't move the needle the way Clark does. Let's talk numbers. Clark's games have been breaking viewership records left and right, drawing more eyes than most WNBA matchups combined.
But also, like, I've said this before, like, I feel like one of my greatest skills is, like, I really don't care. Like, I don't care. Like, I believe in myself. I'm confident in myself. I'm confident in my teammates. I try to instill that in them. I'm confident in the coaching staff on whatever team I was on, whether that was here, whether that's at the Fever now. And you just rely on those people. And, you know, nobody gets to step inside your locker room, whether it was here at Iowa or whether it was, you know, with the Fever now. Like, everybody thinks they know everything and have an answer, but that's just not reality. And that goes for all of professional sports, and really that goes for all of you as well and people in life.
The demand for her jersey retirement was so high that fans were willing to pay big money just to witness. History, Wilson, on the other hand, has been in the WNBA for years and still struggles to generate even a fraction of that excitement. If she were really the star she claims to be, people would be willing to spend money to see her. But they aren't.
All this is that it's on the same day as the A'ja Wilson jersey retirement, and the price it is cost to get into South Carolina. It cost $64. $64 to get the A'ja Wilson's jersey retirement. It is $1,000. $1,000 in the same night to get in Iowa.
And instead of facing that reality, Wilson has been bitter, clearly frustrated that her own career hasn't had nearly the same cultural impact. That's the difference between a true superstar and someone who just wants to be one. Clark doesn't need to beg for attention. People want to watch her. Wilson, not so much. Fans aren't blind to this either. The reaction on social media has been brutal for Wilson. Many have pointed out how she constantly talks about respect, yet she refuses to give Clark the credit she deserves. Maybe that's because deep down, Wilson knows Clark has already surpassed her in popularity, and she hasn't even stepped into the WNBA yet. The reality is, Wilson's dominance is manufactured. She's been hyped up by the WNBA because they need her to be a star, but if she were really that great, why don't people care? Why are tickets being given away for free? Why do people change the channel when she plays, but flock to watch Clark? The answer is simple. Caitlin Clark is better, more exciting, and the real face of women's basketball.
Guys, everyone was back for Caitlin Clark's jersey retirement. And everyone was there. It was...
From the moment the game tipped off, it was clear that this was the event in sports. While other games were happening across the country, nothing came close to the sheer excitement, energy, and massive fan turnout for Clark's historic night. The viewership numbers were through the roof, proving once again that Clark isn't just a star, she's the biggest draw in women's basketball. What made this night even more special was that Iowa didn't just show up for the moment. They won in dominant fashion. The crowd was electric, feeding off Clark's energy as she led her team to victory, making sure the celebration wasn't just about her, but about the entire program's success. This wasn't some sentimental send-off where the outcome didn't matter. Clark made sure to put on a show, reminding everyone why she is the biggest name in the game. But what happened after the final buzzer was just as telling. Normally, after a game, fans start trickling out of the stadium, heading home or back to their usual routines. Not this time, Dimeen. When Caitlin Clark took the microphone for her speech, no one left. The stadium remained packed, with fans hanging onto every word, cheering for her, and soaking in the historic moment.
So you were 5 years old when you decided on number 22, as the story goes. If we were to tell that 5-year-old what today was going to be, what would she have said?
Honestly, like, I'm very overwhelmed. This has been absolutely incredible. Just being here and feeling this energy again. There's really no place like this place, and I truly mean that. And it's special for me. It's special for my family, and a lot of my former teammates are back here, former coaches, the coaching staff, and some of my teammates that are still on the team. But I'm just very lucky and grateful and very fortunate. At 5 years old, you don't dream of something like that.
It wasn't just a game, it was a movement. Compare that to what happens in most women's sports events. Even during so-called big WNBA nights, you see arenas with empty seats, fans leaving early, and games struggling to capture national attention. But Clark has changed all of that. Her impact isn't just felt during the game, it extends long after it ends. Fans aren't just watching her, they're invested in her. They want to be a part of her journey, to witness history, to say they were there when Caitlin Clark took over the sport. And that's what's making so many players, including some in the WNBA, uncomfortable. Clark is doing something that no one else has done. She's making women's basketball a must-watch event. The attention she's bringing to the game is something that others have wanted for years, but never managed to achieve. And now that she's proving how huge the sport can be, it's exposing the reality that certain so-called superstars were never as big of a deal as they wanted people to believe. The truth is, Clark's jersey retirement game overshadowed everything else happening in sport.